Hey everybody, today I wanted to talk to you about our homeschool and what that looks like on a regular basis for us. Now, this is just what we do. This is not what you have to do. If something is working for you, keep going with it, because I think consistency is the main thing with homeschool. A little baby step in the right direction, the same direction at least, every single day, or at least every week or month, will get you closer to the goal than you had at the beginning. So this is just us. If you are not liking what you are doing, or you want to supplement something you're doing and you like something I suggest, then go for it. But this is not me telling you you have to do it differently or better, because that's not what I'm about at all. This is just what we do. So the first things I kind of wanted to talk to you about is we have two different times of day. There's the morning time, which is all of our activities together. And then we have free reading time. And then we have individual time where they work on either their math or their writing, spelling, those kinds of things. But a lot of our day I try and do together as a family, which sometimes gets a little crazy depending on the status of my toddler. But she's enjoying it just as much as we are. So the other things that I want to tell you are the glue that keeps our homeschool together, which is games and art and read alouds. You can find books that are interesting on almost every subject, whether it's an audiobook that you all listen to together. We do a lot of those. Or if it's just a picture book that is, I even just got an illustrated biography on Alexander Hamilton for me to look through. And I've got a couple of Van Gogh, Michelangelo ones that I've seen my kids pick up because they're on the coffee table. The more you surround your kids with books and resources on different disciplines, the more they're not going to see it as a school subject. They're going to see it as part of our family and our life. So that is my first advice, no matter if you're homeschooling or not, is surround your house with books that are good, whether they're not just fiction, but nonfiction as well. There's so many good options now. Put up art that you like. If you have an artist or a composer that you especially like, have it on the background when you're cooking dinner, or put your favorite postcard of a art piece you saw up on the bulletin board. I think the more kids realize, my favorite I think moment as a homeschooling mom was when my eldest looked at me, he's like, "Mom, science, history, math, it's all connected." And I was like, yes, it is. It's all connected. It's all part of life. School is just one venue for teaching it. So I think the more you put it in these little boxes of, now we're doing science, now we're doing social studies, it gets discombobulated in their head. They don't realize that you're just teaching them life. So that is my little tirade is, games, art, and read alouds. If you do nothing else during the day and you find an educational game, a read aloud, and do some art project on something you're learning, you're doing phenomenally. So that said, these are two resources that kind of got me started with our reading and writing. It's the Read Aloud Revival with Sarah Mackenzie. I've loved listening to that podcast. She gives lots of great suggestions for books to read, as well as interviewing people who incorporate reading into their life, whether they're homeschooling or not. And I love listening to that podcast. I signed up as a member this year to get some of her web classes, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit. And then Brave Writer, which is Julie Bogart, and she's all over the internet as well. And her ideas that really kind of transformed how I think about things is that kids are at different stages with their writing and reading than we sometimes expect them to be. A lot of times we will ask a first grader to do a creative writing assignment, and they make it real short, and we're like, why do you tell me these amazing stories and then not write them down? Their mechanical skills have not caught up with their thinking skills. They have a lot more language than they have the energy to write out. And so if we listen to them tell their stories and explain to them how, exciting they are, how important the things that they are saying are, and write them down for them, we're helping so much. And then eventually their skills will catch up and they'll be able to do the writing of their original thoughts as well. Also, when it comes to reading, for the Brave Writer program, she normally there's one read aloud in the one we use, the Arrow, And then she'll have copy work and dictation from that particular read aloud in there. And there's normally some talks about what do you think was good about how the author did this, whether you're talking about alliteration, Popper's Penguins. We're reading Mr. Popper's Penguins right now, which is why I thought of it. So you'll learn about alliteration through a book, which I think is kind of a cool thing. And then you're teaching them good language because your copy work, they're copying out a sentence that somebody else wrote that's very good, and they're practicing it that way. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll do our read aloud all together. Like I said, Mr. Popper's Penguins is it right now. We're really enjoying it. If you've not read it yet, it's really fun. It's about halfway through. And we've been comparing and contrasting the book and the movie because they have actually already seen the movie. So that's kind of a fun little thing as well. So that's kind of our reading. Then we do the spelling workout. And then we also have our penmanship, which is somewhere around here. Oh yeah, we use Handwriting Without Tears for that. So we're enjoying it. I mean, it's not the most innovative thing, and I'm fine with that. It's pretty inexpensive. I like how it's going. Again, we're sticking with it. Another tip I did want to give you is right now, so we've got the Handwriting with Tears. I asked for Christmas the Spencerian handwriting guides, which is the really beautiful handwriting practice books. And then I ordered myself some pens so I can practice my handwriting along with my children. I think anytime your kids are doing, my kids are doing a nature journal and I get out my nature journal to work on with them, they see it as a part of life and not like I have to do it a certain way because the teacher is lording over me. It's me learning along with them. It's inspiring to them. They see that they can keep doing it. And it's also really fun. It's way more fun when you're doing an art project or nature journaling or even your handwriting practice. If you're doing it with your kids and then kind of looking over, oh, look how I'm doing on this, than to just stand behind them and correct everything they're doing. So that's my extra special tip for, again, anybody who has a child. Or, yeah, if you don't have kids, practice on your own anyway. I like it. Another thing we're doing in our morning time right now is Shakespeare. And so we got this set at Costco, but I've seen it on Amazon as well. I think there are about 15 of these, and they're some of his more famous plays. They have comedies and tragedies in here, but what I like is it's not dumbed down. The language is good and solid. They might include a couple of the quotes from the plays, but the overall plot is very well executed in these. We actually just read Midsummer Night's Dream this morning, and my boys loved it. We talked about some different things that Shakespeare likes to do, whether it's a play within a play or disguises or confusion. And we talked about the difference between comedies and tragedies. So I want to do these reading and then also some picture book versions, and then show them like a video production, or hopefully if we can get to see a live production. Shakespeare is not intimidating to kids if they start early. They just think it's like a normal part of life. My boys, we watched and listened to Taming of the Shrew last year, and they were rolling. They thought it was hilarious. We even found there's Shakespeare Uncovered, I think, as a PBS special, and we found Morgan Freeman in a Wild West version of Taming of the Shrew on there, and they just thought that was the most awesome thing. They still requested, can we watch the Wild West version of Taming of the Shrew? It's like, what? But anyway, Shakespeare is Shakespeare, and I think it's great to expose kids young. The other thing we are doing is history. This is Story of the World. It's by Susan Wise Bauer, puts together this curriculum. It's on Peace Hill Press. This is the activity guide. We listen to the audio version read by Jim Weiss on my phone because it's easier. We can do it in the car. Sometimes we do the activities in here. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we'll do the supplemental reading. I kind of can pick and choose, and I plan on going through it a second time with the kids after we're on cycle 3 right now, and it goes through 4 cycles. The idea is it starts from kind of hunter-gatherers up through. Now, some people, there's great division in the homeschool community if it is secular or Christian. It is written by a Christian. I don't feel I don't feel it's preachy. she covers all the different major world religions in here, which I really enjoy. So I guess I wouldn't say it's secular either, because it does address religion, but it doesn't do it in a this is this way kind of thing. Religion affected a lot of history, and I think if you don't talk about religion in history, you're going to miss a big part of why there were so many conflicts. So I appreciate, like last year we talked about the 5 pillars of Islam, and we talked about Judaism. I really enjoy just the multi-coverage of the different world religions, because it is a big part of history and geography and people in general. The other thing we're doing this year is working on memorizing the presidents and the United States or their capitals. So my kids are about halfway through the presidents. We kind of have read lots of different read-alouds with them. Again, anytime you can find a read-aloud with what you're learning about, it's great. Whether you're getting like a book about presidents when they were kids or presidents and their pets, it helps humanize the people. It also shows them kind of the time they were growing up, because if you find out, you know, a president went swimming in a river, you know, it's different than today when we have Secret Service and they don't really do that so much. We also have Presidential Rummy. No, I love Richard Nixon's on the front right now. I really enjoyed this set. I have not seen it in a newer release. So this one actually ends with a first Bush, because at the bottom it shows, they order them like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and it goes 2A. So you look for your group of presidents and then you can put them in order. And we've really been enjoying that. As far as the states go, there's 2 different main resources. This is the Draw the USA. This series is by Kristin Draeger, and she's done maps from all over the world. But she takes like really simple, like start with a rectangle and divide it in half, and she keeps adding to it. And you can kind of see how easy it is to come up with an actually pretty good looking map just by using this book. And I've loved it. I can't wait to continue with the series. We also have, this is the 50 states. It's written and researched by Gabrielle Balkan, and it's got beautiful maps with like infographics about that particular state. My mom also got the Little Passport States edition for us, and we'll be doing some other projects with that as well. So it's been kind of just fun to kind of expose the kids. We also have a USA puzzle we do once a week to kind of, and a US president's puzzle we do once a week to kind of keep, again, use different resources with the same thing you're trying to teach, and then alternate them so you don't get bored, but you're consistently giving them the same information. So eventually, by the end of the year, they will know it. If you take 12 poems and you work on 1 a month, you will know it by the end of the year. If you do 1 read aloud a week, or you do 1 piece of art a week, you'll know 52 by the end of the year. And that's phenomenal. It doesn't have to be what else somebody else is doing. You can just do it that way. So the other thing we're really enjoying for our morning time is Child's Introduction to Poetry, A Story of the Orchestra, and A Child's Introduction to Art. Now, what I really like about the poetry and the orchestra ones is they came with CDs that my husband ripped for me. So on here, it'll say play track 1, and then it'll talk about it. So I just have to read it and talk about it while listening to, or right after we listen to the thing. Poetry is great because then you can just have somebody else read it and you're enjoying it together with them, and you can play it over and over again in the car and learn it together while you're not having to sit down and read it in front of you. So we're really enjoying those options. The other thing we are doing for poetry is we do what's called Poetry Tea Time. Again, this is something from Brave Writer, where once a week we'll get out our poetry books, or 1 or 2 poetry books, and we'll take turns reading to each other while we have tea or hot chocolate and a snack. And it can be as fancy or as low-key as you want it. You can do it on the couch. It does not have to be a tea. Take these little things and then adapt them for what works for you. So, yeah, those are, the last thing, science. This year, instead of doing a curriculum for science, I just wanted to focus on nature. So we have a nature table where the kids can kind of go and play around with. Sometimes I'll change out the pictures above it. We have Nature Anatomy, which we will read through it, copy some things, label. We also have some fun games. We have an animal tracks memory game that I printed off. We have a bird memory game that I printed off. Card line animals is great. And we've just been kind of immersing ourselves with nature studies, along with we started a nature club in our community with other homeschoolers. So twice a month we'll go out and just go on a hike together, and they get to have fun with their friends. And a lot of times we learn a lot from it. So I'm enjoying it. I did not grow up being a nature girl, and I'm trying desperately to make up for it now. So yeah, nature journaling is a great thing. Again, if your kid is nature journaling, get out a notebook and do it yourself, because they're seeing you learning and absorbing information, and you can share with them as well. So those are the things I kind of mainly do in our homeschool. I know this was kind of a long video, but it was pretty comprehensive as far as what our school looks like today. Again, it might look different in a year or so, and toddlers change a lot about how you can focus on things. But the main things is I make sure we get a read aloud in every day. We do some math every day, and everything else kind of wiggles its way in where we have space. So I will talk to you all later. If you homeschool, I would love to hear about it, especially if you have a channel. I'd love to see that. Like, subscribe, share. I never really say that because I always forget. But if there's something in here that you have questions about or you are excited about, please tell me in the comments. I would love to know what everybody else is doing. Not so I can necessarily steal it, but just so I love being a homeschool community with other people. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.